If perception is prediction, then emotions cannot simply be reactions. They cannot be passive responses to what happens. They must be doing something far more fundamental. And neuroscience confirms this. Emotions are not reactions to reality. They are predictions about what your body will need next. This single shift quietly dissolves many of the myths we carry about stress, anxiety, emotional control, and even healing. Because if emotions are predictions, then fighting them makes no sense. And trying to think positively often makes things worse. To understand why, we need to move deeper, not into belief, but into biology. Your brain's primary responsibility is not happiness, insight, or self-actualization. Its responsibility is regulation. It must keep your internal systems within survivable limits: energy, temperature, glucose, hydration, oxygen, safety. This constant balancing act is known as allostasis, and it happens long before conscious thought appears. From the brain's perspective, emotions are not problems. They are control signals. They tell the body how to prepare. Fear predicts danger and mobilizes energy. Anxiety predicts uncertainty and increases vigilance. Anger predicts boundary violation and prepares action. Sadness predicts loss and conserves resources. Calm predicts safety and allows restoration. These are not poetic descriptions. They are physiological strategies. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio showed that emotion is not separate from reason. It is the foundation of decision-making. Without emotional signals, the brain cannot prioritize, choose, or evaluate meaningfully. This is why people with certain types of brain damage can think logically but cannot decide. Emotion is not noise. It is guidance. This reframes stress immediately. Stress is not weakness. Stress is not poor coping. Stress is not failure. Stress is what happens when prediction becomes unstable. When the brain cannot reliably model what will happen next, socially, emotionally, physically, or psychologically, it increases vigilance. Attention narrows. Muscles tense. Cortisol rises. Thought becomes repetitive. The system prepares for correction. This is adaptive in the short term. But when uncertainty persists, the prediction never resolves. And that is when stress becomes chronic. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky has shown that prolonged stress damages not only the body, but the brain itself, impairing memory, emotional regulation, and immune function. But the deeper insight is this: stress is not caused by what is happening. It is caused by what the brain cannot predict. You can be safe and stressed. You can be successful and stressed. You can be loved and stressed. Because stress is not about danger. It is about uncertainty without resolution. This is where many self-help approaches quietly fail. They assume emotions are reactions that must be controlled. So people try to calm themselves down, think differently, override fear, force positivity, suppress anxiety, but suppression is interpreted by the nervous system as threat. The body hears. This state is unacceptable, so vigilance increases. The prediction tightens, and the emotion persists, or intensifies. Lisa Feldman Barrett's work shows that emotions are constructed predictions, not fixed circuits. They emerge from prior experience, context, and bodily needs. This means emotions are not enemies to defeat. They are hypotheses to update. But hypotheses update only under one condition: safety. This brings us to the nervous system. Before thoughts arise, before interpretations form, before decisions feel possible, the nervous system has already answered one question: is this safe enough to relax prediction? If the answer is no, the brain cannot update. Attention narrows. Emotion intensifies. Memory becomes selective. Identity becomes rigid. This is why insight alone rarely changes emotional patterns. Understanding anxiety does not dissolve anxiety, because prediction is not updated by explanation. It is updated by experience in a regulated state. This is also why trauma is not about the past. Trauma is about prediction locked in threat mode. When an experience overwhelms the system, emotionally, physically, relationally, prediction collapses. The brain cannot model what is happening in a way that restores safety. So it learns one rule: never let this happen again. From that moment on, attention scans for danger, not because danger is present, but because uncertainty once proved intolerable. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux showed that traumatic memory is stored in systems that operate outside conscious narrative. This is why people can know they are safe, but still feel threatened. The prediction persists, and prediction shapes perception. Here is the key point most people never hear. Healing does not require removing emotion. It requires updating prediction. And prediction updates only when the nervous system experiences safety during activation. Not avoidance, not suppression, not distraction forever, but contact without threat. This is why safe relationships heal more than insight. Why regulated presence matters more than advice. Why pressure blocks change. And this is why quantum reset frames change as a state shift, not a technique. When pressure is reduced, prediction loosens. When prediction loosens, emotion reorganizes. When emotion reorganizes, identity softens. This is not philosophy. It is how learning works in biological systems. At this point, it becomes clear why people feel trapped in emotional cycles. They are not stuck because they are broken. They are stuck because the nervous system has learned that vigilance is safer than openness. And the system will not abandon a strategy that once protected it, unless something safer replaces it. This is why forcing calm never works. Calm must be allowed, not demanded. Attention plays a critical role here. Attention is not neutral. It is metabolic investment. Where attention goes, prediction strengthens. This is why rumination amplifies anxiety. Why worry feels compulsive. Why monitoring your own progress backfires. Constant self-checking tells the nervous system something is still unresolved, so the prediction persists. Integration requires less monitoring, not more. This is why sustainable change often feels anticlimactic. There is no dramatic moment. There is quiet relief. The system stops bracing. If we now return, carefully, to the language of physics, not as explanation, but as analogy, the pattern becomes even clearer. Physicists like David Bohm and Carlo Rovelli describe reality not as fixed objects, but as relationships unfolding from deeper orders. In the same way, emotional experience is not a fixed property. It emerges from interaction between prediction, attention, memory, bodily state context. Emotion is not in you. It is an emergent process. This reframing removes blame. You are not failing to control emotions. You are experiencing a system doing exactly what it learned to do. This changes how we relate to stress entirely. Instead of asking, "How do I stop feeling this?" the more useful question becomes, "What is my system predicting right now?" And more importantly, what would allow prediction to soften? Often the answer is not effort. It is permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to stop monitoring. Permission to stop proving. Permission to stop fixing. This is why safety is not passive. It is active regulation. One final insight matters here. Because emotions are predictive, they are not resolved by time alone. Waiting does not heal emotion. Waiting sustains uncertainty. What heals emotion is updated experience. Small, repeated signals that the future does not need to be predicted the same way. This is why change rarely happens all at once. It happens through repetition without threat. And this is why the most powerful emotional shifts often feel ordinary. No breakthrough, no catharsis, just relief. If these ideas resonate and you want to continue exploring how emotions, stress, and regulation shape experience, this channel is designed for that depth. Subscribing supports long-form, research-based work like this, work that values clarity over hype. You'll also find links below to the books and research that inform this episode if you want to explore the science further. These ideas are explored more slowly and reflectively in Quantum Reset, for those who prefer to sit with the material rather than apply techniques. A link to the book can be found in the description. The work itself, however, is not in reading or understanding alone. It is in noticing, gently, repeatedly, how your system predicts, protects, and prepares, and in allowing it slowly to learn that it no longer has to work so hard.